Hey, what's up? It's Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of the creditrepairshop.com. I wanted to bring this information over to you. A YouTube subscriber made me aware of what was going on with this lawsuit, District of Columbia against Elevate Credit Inc. And this information is good even if you don't have a loan with them and you don't live in the state. The information on the way that they're providing these loans is what is important because that's the way that you would be able to fight against what they're doing, what they're actually getting sued for in the District of Columbia, which they're probably violating these same things in other states. Now, Elevate is an online lender that operates through several websites, including risecredit.com, Elastic, and Elevate. Uh, I'm going to put the link to this uh, court case below the video if you want to read through the whole thing. I'm just going to skim through some of the things that caught my attention. Uh, it says here the number one, there's two things that they violated. Two things that they violated on here is that, that caught my attention. There's other things here that are kind of I would say, like the YouTube subscriber wrote to me, it's like this is like a rent-a-bank type scheme. This is where you have companies that are in between, LLCs in between, and you have them connecting to banks that are the underwriters or different loan type underwriters where they get their money to make these loans. It's very profitable. A lot of the banks don't want to be like involved. It's like these are the middle people for banks that don't want to ruin their own reputation. But what they're doing is they're illegally charging interest rates more than what's allowed in the state. And this was a business and they were doing it for years. So people don't think that it can happen in your state, that you might have a loan from one of these types of companies and you're paying a high interest rate. That interest rate could be illegal. And I can tell you up front, what they're trying to do as a remedy is to get all of the interest paid by these consumers back. And I think that was the first remedy that they wanted, and the next is probably going to be to forgive the loan. But they said that the interest rates were 149% for its Rise loans and 251% for its Elastic loans, and both well in excess of 24% and 6% caps in the district. It also stated, I'm just skimming through here, is that the whole thing is that they were uh, providing these loans at an interest rate that they shouldn't have provided them at, and that they were deceptively advertising to the consumers about the loans itself. It also stated that they sent out 62 million pre-selected credit offers to consumers nationwide. Elevate incurred $51 million in direct marketing costs and 7.3 million in operating costs for selling its marketing services, but they made well over $300 million. They advertised online fast approval for loans between $500 to $5,000. That's what they were doing. They were also doing radio and TV commercials. They had a little comparison here saying that with the interest rates and overdraft protection, I don't, they threw this in here as an example to kind of show what Rise had put on there and on why you should get a loan from them. Because if you have overdraft fees, this you're going to be way up here. If you go to payday loans, you're going to be way up here, and you have Rise highest interest rate. So they were doing that comparison between themselves, and then they had the credit card, which they knew that most people in their category, their demographic that they were targeting, were out of this category. So they kind of had this in between, and you can use the letters that I mean the colors that they use was green, so you can come to us. Uh, so let's see here. It also something interesting. The subscriber that shared this story with me had said something about rent a bank. And I mentioned it a little bit earlier that some lenders don't want to be directly involved in this, but they want to be in this business because it's very profitable. The people are living paycheck to paycheck, and they're just like, hey, we don't want to put our name on it, but we'll underwrite these loans. So it looks like right here is that although Elevate in essence rents FinWise to provide the loans, so it says here rents. It is Elevate that directs and controls the funds for the loan. For example, Elevate funds rise loans through its captive credit financing relationship with Victory Park Management, which is like the underwriter for this. And it says that Elevate would have to secure other sources of debt financing or potential reduction of loan originations if this organization would not fund any more loans. So let's go down a little bit here. They talk more about uh, the marketing, the deceptive marketing, and then they repeated it because they had Elastic and then they had Rise. So let's go down a little bit further. Misrepresentation, omissions, and violation of Consumer Protection Procedure Act. This district realleges and incorporates reference paragraph 1 through 79. That means that everything that they allege, they re-references. And CPPA is a remedy statute that should be broadly construed. It establishes a right of truthful information from merchants about consumer goods and services that are or would be purchased, leased, received in District of Columbia. Basically, they're just stating that uh, if it's deceptive, they want to use that law to, as a way to get a remedy. Let's see here if it said exactly. Somewhere in here I'd read where they were going to the remedy they were going to seek. Okay, here we go. So for the defendant, so this is very important. So if you find yourself in this situation, even if it's not with these companies, these are the same type of remedies that you can ask for. And here's the crazy thing is that a company would probably say yes to it because they don't want to spend the money going through court. They don't want to spend the money having a class action brought up against them if you're making complaints, because that's what ends up happening is that so many complaints come in, they end up doing a class action. And uh, but these companies continue to do this because if you're going to make $350 million and it only costs you $51 million to advertise, $7 million to for your administrative fees, and then you're going to end up paying. Let's just say you pay $20 million, which would be very hefty to the District of Columbia. I think that businesses would just continue to do this over and over and over again. So the remedy that they want, order defendant to pay restitution and damages. It can't say what those are because it hasn't been deemed that they're guilty of what they're alleged of doing. Uh, Order that loans marketed, offered, and sold by defendant were unconscionable at the time they were made or have been induced by unconscionable conduct and that therefore unenforceable and voided. So they want to void out the entire loan, which so that takes away the original loan, and they want to have restitution to people. Order the payments of civil penalties and permitted by statute in DC. So whatever civil penalties that they can have. Award the district the cost of the action, attorney's fees. So the district wants to get paid their money for bringing this action. Grant such further relief as the court deems just and proper, and they demand a jury trial on this. So this is working its way through. Gonna put the link here. Basically, bottom line, they're stating that they charge illegal interest rates for the state, for the District of Columbia, and that they were a predatory lender. and that also that they were not licensed to even lend in the District of Columbia. All right, so I just wanted to get this information out. Please read through it. It's a long one. But basically, bottom line, if you have payday loans, if you have these types of loans from these lending companies, the number one thing to keep your eye on is if they're charging more with their fees. It could be a combination of fees, it could be a combination of the interest rate, it could be a combination of what they charge you if you end up resetting that loan. Like if you come back to them and you refinance that loan, most states have a number one, they only allow one refinance in 30 days. And if it is refinancing, they put the principal on top of there. That by them basically doing that, that's considered a finance charge for them doing that, and that could actually make that loan illegal. We've been able to help a lot of people that ran into that situation by just simply looking at the way that they did that refinance of a payday loan. And I'm not sure how Elevate and Rise is doing their stuff, but obviously they're whatever way that they're doing it, it's ended up being a exorbitant interest rate on what they're charging people. So thank you again to the YouTube subscriber that gave me this information. I'm going to dig into it more, but I just want to make everyone aware of it just in case I didn't get to make a full video on it. And if you need help with your credit, please visit us at thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch the video, what makes us different. So you can see my 8-point validation process, my two-phase settlement process. If you need your credit reports and scores, we have two links below. One will give you your full FICO score. That's so you can see what car dealers see, credit card companies see, mortgage companies see. That link is below here. There's also a link below for uh, just getting your report so you can, just see what's on there. TransUnion, Equifax, Experian reports, and all three scores. And that has the Vantage score. There's also links below here. If you have debt collectors coming after you, I have two different links. One is where you can get the updated letters because debt collectors are making adjustments on the letters that I was giving to everyone for free, and a lot of people were not donating on there, which I was asking for a donation. I think that with what those letters can save people, it's well worth it. And I need to kind of tone down on how many people are grabbing them because the debt collectors are making adjustments. So I want to make those letters available. The cost of them is not expensive. I give you all of the instructions and everything on it. And yes, I still have my free pack of letters. You can use those, and those are still effective. But I can just tell you that debt collectors have made adjustments, and you're going to need to be prepared to respond to those accordingly. Thank you for your time. Please subscribe to the channel. Please post your questions and comments. This is Stephen A. Williams, President and founder of thecreditrepairshop.com.